Okay, let's start with how to use the ready-made prefabs. Make sure the event system has been added to the scene. Optionally, add your own player controller or use the prefab from the demo. Add the physics raycaster component to the camera object. This is what will send rays toward the buttons. Drag the selected prefab from the package into the scene. For example, from the folder Prefabs, Buttons, Click Buttons, add the first prefab. Now click on the root of the added object. On the root of the object you will find the pointer press controller component. This is responsible for receiving cursor events and forwarding them. The object passes events to the appropriated interfaces in the target object game object. If target object is not set, it searches for the interfaces among its children. Next, click on the button handle game object. This object contains the remaining components responsible for handling the button. Collider. This is what the detected ray will hit. Animator. Used by scripts to play animations. Emission controller. Controls the button's lighting in response to clicks. Click button. The main button component. Value animator. Animates the buttons based on its value. 0 not pressed, 1 pressed. Clickable event trigger. Allows you to bind Unity events to the button's actions. Okay, let's keep the remaining components for now and focus on the last one. To use the button, click on the plus icon on the on-click panel in the clickable event trigger component. In the newly created field, we'll assign the component to which we want to send messages. In our case, it will be a light. We'll use the button to turn the light on and off. Select the game object that has the light component, in our case it's keylight, and disable the light component. Then select our button and in the on-click panel set the keylight game object as the target for the message. Choose the light component and enable property and then check the box. On the scene and click the button. The light turns on, however when you release the button it doesn't turn off. Let's change that. On button handle game object, disable the clickable event trigger component and add pressable event trigger component instead. In onPress and onNormal, add the light game object, select the light component and set the enable field. For onPress, check Enable. For onNormal, leave it unchecked. Test this scene. Now the light only stays on while the button is held down. But what if we want to create a standard light switch? To do this, we need to replace the click button component with a toggle button. Remove the click button component and add the toggle button component instead. Check the Is Clickable box. You don't need to change anything else. Now, remove or disable the clickable event trigger and pressable event trigger components. Next, add the toggable event trigger component and set the onToggle on and the onToggle off field similarly to how we did before. Finally, go to Emission Controller component and set the colors for Toggle On Color and Toggle Off Color. Don't forget to set the alpha as well. And then run the scene. You now have a working interactive toggle switch that you can further customize. Of course, in the prefabs you will find ready-made switches and much more. And that's it. Have a fun!